The Color Purple. It seems a little bit cliche, but it's not. I love movies and I'm very critical of bad acting, bad writing, and now bad camera skills because I'm into screenwriting now. And Ebony Y. Rhodes, my one of my BFFs, and also another artist in the show, a few years ago bought for me for Christmas Shonda Rhimes' masterclass. And I've been savoring it over the last, I think she bought it for me in 2020. So I've been savoring it. And now I just look at every kind of um, moving picture differently than I did before. Um, but that, I'll tell you first, I always remember I watched it as a child. My who I call my sister, who's my cousin, so we say sister cousin. Um, Shannon and I, she's 2 years younger than me. We used to watch this movie. You remember how back in the day with HBO, before what we have now, they would just replay movies, and especially if something was rather new. And then certain times a year it would come on and just replay for days. So Mama Linda had cable in her room, and every time we would get to be in her room watching TV, if Color Purple was on, we would watch it. We knew all the lines. We used to crack our family up with how we would act out the scenes. We didn't quite understand all the scenes. We kind of knew even as children that there were some scenes we probably shouldn't be watching or didn't quite understand, but also like no one censored us from it. And what I was going to say, I'll tell you, is what I would hear in the background of that moment is my mother saying, she used to say this all the time, that when that movie came out, she'd already read the book several times by the time the film came out. And when it came out, opening weekend, she went to the movie theater every day and she saw it every single day. And so now it seems a little bit cliche to say it because I know the book is very important. I teach the book a lot. I've read the book several times and it's one of my favorite books. The movie is a completely different animal. But because it was a movie and it was like a part of my um like the backdrop of my life as media, growing up as a little Black girl in the 80s. Um, it's like a part of my DNA, which I have in common with a lot of other Black women. A lot of Black women use the metaphor of being Celie and Nettie, and Shan and I, my sister cousin, and I say that Celie and Nettie. And what's an interesting thing I'll share is that for many years, because I'm 2 years older than her, and I went away to college and left the area. She stayed at home. For many years, I always assumed between us, I was assuming that I was Celie because I was older, and she was assuming that she was Nettie when we would use that metaphor. And like maybe 10 years ago or so, we had a conversation, and she was like, "Oh, I always thought I was Celie because I stayed home and you got to leave." And I don't know, it was just like a profound moment in our relationship. But I've had a similar conversation with many Black women on a Celie Nettie type friendship, relationship, sisterhood. It was a beautiful, beautiful film. So I'm happy to say The Color Purple. But I like movies.